How are we doing, everyone? We're talking about stop losses once again here, but we're going to look at some on-chart examples in real-life market scenarios. So what I'm going to show you first of all is the importance of keeping your stop loss firm and not actually dragging your stop loss bigger to allow the market to reverse. Okay, when we pre-plan our stop loss, we pre-plan that risk and we set that risk in motion, and we cannot alter that risk. We can't make that risk bigger. Okay, if we do, that damages our risk reward ratio strategy that we've spoken about, which is of course the core of our trading, and damaging that is going to lead to a long process of trying to win back the losses, and a long process of ineffective and inefficient trading. Okay, so what we've got here is the market. We've got the market price moving up, and essentially I've just plotted out a hypothetical trade position, which of course is this. We spoke about this in the risk reward video. So this gray box is our stop loss. Okay, so we enter the trade here, right, at this point. Stop loss is then of course the top of this gray box, and our take profit level, okay, where we will close out the trade at a profit, our trade target is this level down here, okay, which is at this previous area of interest, this previous support. So let's say then we are looking to sell the market. The reason being, we've broken above, we've now broken back beneath this area of interest. We can see reaction, reaction, reaction. And we're looking now for this area to be tapped again before running lower. Okay, so we'll let the market play out. And essentially then we are activated into our trade. Okay, from here we are now on the trade. Let's say we have $100 risk at the stop loss level. So if we hit this level, we lose $100. On the contrary, if we hit this level down here, we pretty much win 400. Okay, we're going to win $399. So we're going to let the trade play, and as we can see, we're kind of getting the reaction we want to see. Okay, so but then all of a sudden the market forms a reversal to the upside. Okay, and we begin trading back close to the boundaries of the entry. Right, what we should do in this position is allow the trade to run, and if it hits stop loss like so, then it hits stop loss. Okay, and that's completely fine because we predetermined that $100 risk. We would have lost $100 on this movement, and that's fine. We'd be back out ready to attack the next trade to win $200, $300, $400 or more to completely win back this loss and then some profit as well. So that is how you want to ideally use this risk management strategy. Okay, but as a beginner, or not even as a beginner, but just as a trader who hasn't quite yet developed that emotional discipline, you may feel the need or the urge to move your stop loss, or you might think it's a logical thing to do to widen your stop loss to allow more room for the market to move. Okay, so let's say we can see from the eyes of a undisciplined trader, we can see the market is now, after running into profit, coming back to the break-even point. Okay, we can see this now running towards our stop loss. We've got hope that this is going to turn around, which of course isn't enough. Okay, it's not logical, but this is an emotion that a lot of traders feel, and you may have gone through this before, and you may go through this in the future. Hopefully not, now that we're speaking about it. But you see the trade running towards your stop loss, and you think, okay, it's going to reverse. If I can put the stop loss clear of this area here, we're going to get a reversal some point within there, right? Now we've doubled our risk. Our risk is no longer $100; it's $200. Okay. And believe it or not, the market takes our stop loss out anyway. So that false hope right there, that false hope of a reversal, actually led us to double our loss and bring us the equivalent of 2 losing trades. And this is twice as hard to win back. Okay, if we now win a 1 to 2 trade, we're only back at break even. We are not up in profit. So you can see how this really affects the risk reward strategy, and really can damage overall. Now, even worse, right, is someone who will significantly move the stop or completely remove the stop loss. Okay, let's say now we are risking $400 on this movement, right? From our original entry, there is over $400 risk on this movement now. And if we let this thing play out with the false hope that it's going to reverse, chances are, right, it's not going to do that. Okay, and you can see there, we come all the way back down to break even. The false hope is still there. And then we went and cleared this out, right? That's $400 lost on a single movement. And a $400 loss on a single movement is the equivalent of losing 4 trades inside of our risk reward strategy. Okay, that means then we're going to have to win 1 to 2 positions back, or we're going to have to win 1 to 4 risk reward position back to even just be at break even, which isn't an easy trade to catch. So it's much more logical and much more viable to just allow that first original stop loss to get hit, take your $100 loss, realign and reshape the market, okay, find new movements in the market to then win your $100 back, right? Extending your losses, inflating your losses by widening your stop loss is completely counterproductive in the long run. In the moment, you might not be able to accept that $100 loss, but trust me, things will get much more out of hand if you just don't take the loss and you rely on that false hope to reverse the trade and bring you back into profit. So we've got to be very strict. Hopefully that shows you, though, how we've just turned really quickly $100 loss into 400 or into infinite if you let that thing keep running, okay? It's not a safe game to play. Moving stop losses should never be done unless you're moving it into profit, which takes me on to my next point, which we'll talk about now. So let's say we took our $100 loss. That's all nice. And we've accepted now that because the market has come and cleared out this high, right, we are instead going to be looking for buying opportunities, right? We are continuing the uptrending movement. We can see that this market is still moving up. So what we're going to be looking for is buying opportunities. Let's say we're focusing on the same level once again. We let the market do its thing. Okay, around here we see that we've tapped into that level and formed a reversal. So in this instance, we're going to buy the market, stop beneath the area of interest, and let's say at profit target, we'll go again for a 1 to 4, right? These are hypothetical positions, okay? This is, of course, not legitimate technical analysis. That's something we're going to talk about later. But here we are going for another 1 to 4 position, okay? So we are now down $100 so far. Entering into this new trade, there we go, we've taken another loss. That's, if we keep it at that though, that is just $100, okay? So we're now down $200. And if we were to go for a re-entry on this movement, keep our stop loss clear of the lows, we'll go for a nice 1 to 3.3, let's say, and we let the market play and do its thing. We can see there we've gone and fulfilled that profit target, okay? And even though we just took 1 loss there, and we took 1 loss here for minus $200 in total, we've just won a 3.3 trade, right? And that, with $100 risk, is $330 profit, right? So you can see, I'm kind of glad that we just had that loss there, because that just shows how effective this risk reward strategy is, okay? 2 losses, 1 win, $130 overall profit secured. So that right there is exactly how you need to be trading if you want to succeed. You need that strict discipline, and always consistently remind yourself that if you follow your risk reward process and you follow your risk reward strategy, overall, long term, you're going to hit wins, okay? You're going to win long term. Really nice example there. What I want to talk about now is the process of moving your stop loss into profit as a trade runs. So we mentioned before that a stop loss can be utilized for good, okay? Taking it back to this original selling position where we were selling the market from this area. Let's say we enter our trade, right? Stop above the high. We are targeting that original target that we were going for, around 1 to 4 risk reward. Okay, so we've got $100 risk on here and potential $393 profit if we go fulfill our target. What we can do then, keeping our stop loss firm, is allow the market to run into profit. And when we see movement into profit, we can go ahead and move our stop loss order, okay, from here down to the break-even point, okay? So let's say then, here we have our stop loss. I'm going to just turn that red. So that's our stop loss order, right? $100 loss if it is activated. But what we can actually do with the stop loss is then realign it to the break-even point. And now what this means is, if the trade turns against us, we're going to get closed out with no profit, but no loss, okay? So this stop loss no longer exists there, and instead sits at break-even, okay? So we're still aiming for that $393 profit, or $400 profit, whatever, for this original target. But if it goes wrong now, we have got absolutely no risk on this movement, okay? We let the market run. we might see it continue to run lower, and we might even then want to run the market further into profit. Okay, if you were to move your stop loss into profit like so. And then if the market reverses now, we know we're either going to get our $393 profit or a very small profit, but a profit nonetheless. Okay, worst case scenario is a small win. So you can see how these can be utilized on every single trade to make things safer, to reduce your amount of losses, and to reduce the amount of money that you actually lose on movements due to full stop losses being hit. So we let the market play out, and what we see is the market run even lower. Let's say we want to move our stop loss down now to around this point. We can continue to chase the market with the trend line, with the stop loss, sorry. But we do want to be logical about it. Of course, we're going to talk more when we're talking about technicals, but these real life examples are very useful. Hopefully you're seeing how we can utilize a stop loss, okay? How we turn this $100 risk into around $100 profit at the worst case scenario. So our stop loss is then activated and our trade is closed out here. And when it's closed out there, we are instead closed out with around $100 profit rather than the original $100 loss that we had on the movement. So that's a great example of how to utilize your stop loss for the better and how to utilize your stop loss to secure profits even in the worst case scenario. We can, of course, move our stop loss to break even to cut risk out of a trade, and then we can move our stop loss into profit to completely cut risk and turn our worst case scenario into a win and into a profit. So we will, of course, go into more depth in the technicals chapter. Hopefully you've got a good overall idea now of how we can utilize stop losses and why they are so important and why it's important never to move them further than they are originally set. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video when we're going to talk about position sizing, which is the next aspect of risk management.